Just a quickish one. Well, actually, no, I regret saying that. Yesterday, went to work, it was pissing it down. Got to work, sat around for an hour because it was raining. Got told to go home, had the day off. I believe it was paid. So, yeah, yesterday was the second day for waking up at 5 am, 4 am, sorry. And I find that I'm enjoying it, waking up that early. I get up, get changed, meditate, and then just have my coffee. And for the last 2 or 3 days, 2 days I think, I don't know, 3 days, I've just been doing some programming in the morning. I don't want to say much about that. I don't really want to talk, I don't really want to get any excitement about it because I don't want to get any self-expectation built. But yeah, I'm so far finding it interesting, and because my dream still is to freelance, and the best way I can think of to achieve that is to, and that's got some reliability, is to freelance software development anyway, web development. So yeah, I did that this morning, and then I just do some Norwegian learning and then cycle to work. Today was another piss take. 20 minutes before we left the depot, and then we just had like a 40-minute lunch, smoko, and like an hour and 20-minute fucking lunch. Waited around because we'd finished the job, took the piss at a second job, and yeah, it's good shit. But then when we were working, like, I was just shoveling all day for what I was doing in the day, and that was hard work. And yeah, yesterday I just had 2 bowls of porridge to eat, which again was quite not healthy but very impressive considering, and a coffee, considering that 2 coffees, 1 decaf, considering that I'd been to work, cycled to work, come back, and was off all day, so I could have just eaten. And I got these new pants, got these new trousers. I said pants because my dungarees when I arrived at work were sodden. These pants were size 32, and they fit me pretty comfortably. And before I started work, or when I first started work, I got 3 sets of size 32, all too small for me, so I had to get 34. And these ones fit. So from starting work to now, even though I've had 8 weeks off, I've actually lost some weight, which is quite impressive because these 8 weeks off I could have just binge eaten, etc. But my eating's been pretty on point over the last week and a bit since being back at work. I just have my coffee before work, 2 bananas for my smoko, and then like a small lunch. And then when I get back now, I'll have a porridge, and then I might have something else later in the evening. So yeah, so far sustainable. One of the things I want to talk about is a conversation me and Nico had last night. Nico asked me if I think I'm living too much in the future, and one of the things I'm grateful for, or I'm happy that I have, is the ability to not be very, very reactive, and I can be quite, I feel generally, unless I'm in like a fickle kind of like volatile emotional state, or I'm very reactionary, very, very reactive, unless I'm in one of those states, I can be generally very level-headed, even, especially when people are giving me criticism and stuff. So Nico said he was quite relieved the last week when I went back to work because he could be alone, even though he likes doing stuff together, but he felt that because our communication wasn't fantastic at all over the last 8 weeks, it was like a relief, because instead of it being negative, it was like neutral because he was alone. And he said, like, he just surprised at how individualistic I am. And initially I thought it was quite interesting to reflect upon, because initially, like, I take that as somewhat of a compliment, like, oh, you're so individualistic, and that just shows how, through that which I've read and through, I guess, my upbringing and my culture to some extent, we herald, we pedestalize individualism, whereas that doesn't mean it's not necessarily a good thing. To me, it's great to an extent for my lifestyle. I like traveling on my own, and I've kind of developed it into something positive, because I can, with a decent amount of confidence, do pretty much everything on my own, or a lot of things on my own, and I can live by myself and not get too depressed. I seem to version more like my life versions, like it flourishes more. I begin to thrive more if I'm on my own, but I'm in a decent environment. Yeah, and then if I'm with negative people, then I seem to find excuses to be a bit shit. And if I'm around very positive people, or should I say people who are very productive, and I compare myself to them, like Nico, and I feel bad about myself. So generally, if I'm on my own and I'm in a decent environment and I'm occupied, I thrive as an individual. Okay, so my phone storage just shit itself. Yeah, I don't know. That was it basically. I'm basically quite individualistic. I've always seen that as a good thing, and what I do is I don't really tend to maybe get very close to people, or I don't know. When people say, "Oh, do you want to do this?" Generally, I will always prefer to do things on my own. Um, even if I don't know, even if it's like a kind of a closest friend, I will generally tend to prefer to do things alone. Can't really say exactly why that is now. Maybe because I've been let down in the past, or maybe I got bullied when I was doing stuff with people at school generally. But yeah, I'm apparently very individualistic, and Nico's, I guess, partially due to his being South American and being very passionate and communal, likes to do a lot of things with people, and I guess that's kind of depressed him a little bit. Um, I had a Zoom call at the weekend with some friends, and I think I can come across as a bit of an asshole when I don't know. I tend to dig at people, and I think one or two of my friends from back home can't really take the banter very well, and they get more easily offended, which to me is a sign of their fragility, obviously, which is probably to me a sign of kind of an incongruence in life, like they're not truly living authentically, and me kind of prodding at that is actually hurting that, and maybe making them aware subconsciously, and they thus kind of react and retaliate, kind of get defensive, kind of reflex at it. But yeah, I think I can still come across as a bit of an asshole. I think sometimes I can come across as a bit like as if I'm superior, like in some psychological or intellectual sense. And I don't obviously in the moment mean for that, but I think that is what happens. On my, subconsciously, that's my behaviour. I can come across as a bit of a pretentious asshole sometimes. Sometimes sometimes through being condescending, through like this bullying, like as if I could do it better. But I was talking to Nico, for example, last night, and I was saying that even though, and I'm aware of it myself, and I've spoken about this before, I believe, even though, for example, I might talk about, oh yeah, if I ever got cheated on, then it's an absolute no-brainer, never, that's like the line, or if, I don't know, I wouldn't want to be with a girl I wasn't completely attracted to, or I wouldn't want to be with a girl who I didn't like click with and get into a relationship with a girl who was like that, I had a click with. But I think due to my awareness of my kind of sexual insecurity and my subconscious and conscious fixation on girls and sex, I do think that the next time I do actually come across a girl who is like attracted to me and overtly so, I think I will struggle to be this authentic self, this completely aligned with my values, because I'd have this like animalistic, primal, and insecure at the same time, this side of me, this whole sense of, instinct and insecurity and neurosis that is kind of like really swaying me to act out of accordance with my completely rational mind, of what exists of it. And I think that's okay. I think as long as I'm aware of that now, that I'm probably going to act in ways in the future when it comes to like social interactions and speaking to girls especially. I think I need to, I'm ready to accept, hopefully, that I will be very awkward and insecure, and I might get with girls who are just complete partygoers and sluts, girls who I would now rationally go, oh no, I don't want to that's just bad news. But when I'm in the moment and when I'm like, oh, she's showing me attraction. Wow, girl finds me attractive. Like, wow, this hasn't happened in over a year or years. I'm just gonna go for it, because when is this next gonna happen? My primal instinct, my insecurity comes through, and I think if I'm aware of that now, then I should be fine. I've already had like some awkward interactions with people where I've spoken too fast, or I've just been a bit awkward, and in the interaction, like, I mentally reproach myself, like, Luke, why are you being this, like, social autist? But then after the fact, I kind of reflect. I'm like, well, Luke, I cut myself some slack. Like, you don't really socially interact. You've been isolating for however long. Your esteem isn't very good at the moment, etc., etc. Just to wrap up, I tried on these speed dealers today because at work they have these sunglasses which completely cover your eyes, kind of like goggles almost, so you don't get any mulch, like dusty shit in your eyes. And I've got a picture of it. I'll see if I can attach it somewhere. But I look like a fucking goon. It's hilarious. At least that's the thing. I can laugh at myself. Like, I look like a fucking knob, and it was hilarious. It's a funny thing all day. I would say all week. But last night, me and Nico watched half of Wolf of Wall Street, which, knowing like some investment stuff about investment, it's even more funny. A lot of the stuff that wasn't originally funny is now pretty hilarious. And Matthew McConaughey's an amazing actor. But yeah, I got these speed dealers, and I look like speed as in the drug, and dealers because they're always. Zach said, the guy I work with, like, they're always at the club, like, just fucking with these glasses on, like, handing out speed like shit drugs. That's a hilarious image. And they also look like, if you imagine like a cool or wannabe cool 6-year-old or 7-year-old on like one of the first days back to school, just kind of with these shades on, like thinking they're hot shit, and they just look like a knob, but they're a kid. But when you're an adult and you're doing it, it's fucking hilarious, and I don't suit them at all. And I just took like an ironic photo that I might attach if I can. Yeah, good shit.